Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, Dwyrin here. Welcome back to the last day of my 25 days of Go. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful holiday season. And today we are going to be talking about actually playing a game. Now, the reason why I kind of want to go into this particular topic is because New Year's arriving very, very shortly. Some of you people are going to be making resolutions for like, oh yeah, I'm gonna finally get into studying and I'm gonna improve my rank this year. Because last year I didn't have enough time to do it, but this year is going to be the year where I really rank up, I'm really going to go at it. And that made me think about how someone is actually going to try to and achieve these things. I think everybody knows there's a lot of resources available to someone who wants to do this. You've got, shameless plug, my videos. That can also help you. You've also got other people's. You've got who's putting out videos lately. XK98 has been putting out videos lately. Colossus has been putting out videos lately. This year we've seen Haley, Hyjin Lee, a professional throwdown from Korea, really, get in there and start making videos for everybody to enjoy and learn from. We've had Andrew Jackson, who I guess is the AGA commentator nowadays, and he's put out a bunch of stuff. We've got Nick, who's also been putting out a lot of stuff. There's a lot of content online in video format for you to learn from. And if that wasn't enough, you also have wonderful, wonderful websites like Google Juan's that can also help you just get down and start learning some Go. So you have all of these resources at your disposal. You might also have, other unorthodox techniques. Mine, for example, was memorizing professional games every bloody day until I was sick of it for about a year. That was my method. Everyone has their own way of learning. That's just true. There is no one way for everybody. But one thing that remains true is you have to play Go. You can sit down, you can say, I'm going to do 300 Go problems a day. I'm going to look at all of these wonderful videos. I'm going to go and subscribe to Go Juan's website. But you still have to play Go. And for a lot of people, that makes us rather nervous. Because when we think about playing, we think of a whole bunch of really stupid stuff that we shouldn't be thinking about. We think about our rank, for example, and holding on to our rank, not wanting to lose our rank, which is fundamentally insane because the whole point of this is to get better, is to change that rank. We want it to not be static. So that right there is very, very strange. But strange as it may be, it is something that causes a lot of people to go online, play a game, and then maybe they win that one, alright, that's it for the day. I got a game won. Okay, got that win in. I'm doing good. I'll play more tomorrow or the day after that or something. And I thought that's really different. Because I spent a lot of time playing on Taigem and WBDUK and sometimes Netmarble. And there you can see a very, very big difference. Here, for example, you can see that I have sorted Taigem's user window by wins. And you can see tens of thousands of wins on these accounts. Actually, the highest person, if he's still on, the highest person actually has over 100,000 games played on his account, which is absolutely crazy. But these guys aren't minorities. These are the majority of the server. You can see, I'm just going to hold down the scroll, and we've got tens of thousands and tens of thousands and tens of thousands of games being played here, right? We can just keep going down and down and down and down and down. We don't get out of 1,000 games played till we're way under the halfway mark, right? We have to go down way far before we see people who aren't these accounts, I guess, are just for watching, or maybe they're new or whatever. But the people who don't play that often, those are very much not the majority of servers like we find, I guess, in Asia. We find with Taigem, we find with WBDUK. Whereas if I compare that with KGS, sort by alphabet, I guess, because I can't sort by games played on KGS, unfortunately. You, Alluring, and you popped up over there. Here we go. Is that in frame? I think it is. What have you done? Yeah, see, we get We have a couple of games, but not really expecting to see quite as many games played as the other. We're seeing like kind of what I was referring to, like 1-2 games a day. That seems to be about it, not exactly the tens of thousands of games that we would expect to see on an Asian server, for example. And a lot of the reason behind that, sometimes it's going to be time oriented. Some people are just very, very busy, do not have enough time to play that many games. Other people, it really kind of goes back to ladder anxiety. The minute they get on to play a ranked game, they start getting nervous, they start getting afraid of losing their rank, they start getting afraid of doing poorly. They'll only play one game or two because they don't really want to upset their rank, they don't really want to do that badly, they don't want their rank to change. But if you are a person who next year you're going to sit down and you're going to start trying to play to improve, that's actually not where you want to be. You don't want to be stuck in a static place. So if you see your rank changing, that's actually a good thing. That means you're trying new things, you're trying to adjust your play. Maybe you're studying and you're trying out new things in your games, and that's going to reflect in your rank. That's natural. That's what you actually want to see. You want to see that fluctuation there. But nevertheless, a lot of people do feel nervous, so what can we do about this feeling of being nervous? At this point, I would say what I myself did to kind of get over this feeling, because I kind of had that for a while as well. Unfortunately, not everyone can use the same method that I did, because my method was just to start streaming. It's like, wow, I'm not nervous about my games anymore because I was just forced to play a bunch of them on stream. Some of them didn't really go well, but I realized it wasn't the end of the world. So, though I'm not recommending you to stream and just force yourself to play, I do want to point out that you probably should force yourself to play a few games and just see if the world ends. You might find out that it doesn't. The world will still be here, even if you lose a handful of games, even if you've gone on a losing streak, and this I can actually attest to. Let's go back on to TieGem, for example. So right away, you can see TieGem's screen here. You can see here, and this general area. I was on a pretty healthy losing streak here, I do believe. Yeah, some losses down there as well. So you might think, oh my god, that is the end of the world, we're losing, we gotta stop playing because we're losing, and we're just gonna not play anymore. But that's actually not what you want to do, because losing is perfectly fine as long as you're willing to review the game, find out what went wrong in that game. Did you create too many weak groups? If so, you can kind of jot that down, maybe like a little note off to the side, or maybe sticking it onto your monitor, wherever you can see it, and just have that thing you can concentrate on for your next game. And that way you can focus on not, oh my god, I might lose, but you've given yourself something that you can actually see in front of you that you really need to work on. And you can focus on that. You can like shift your energy from worrying about how are you going to play to how you're going to focus on this one thing. And that I find is really helpful. I don't do that quite so much nowadays, but I did do that when I was really studying. I would actually have that one or those two things there, and as long as I focused more on them and not whatever the heck my rank was doing, I felt it was a lot more comfortable with something that was almost more tangible in front of me, right? Weak groups. I kept creating these weak groups in my games. Okay, we're not going to create these weak groups. I am going to take a move. I'm going to mind my shape. That's what I'm doing this game. And I can see how that helped me along throughout my game. I think the people who worry most about their games are the people who don't really know what they're working on. So if this kind of sounds like you, I would consider doing that. Go through your last 10 games or so. Make a list of things that went wrong in them, and just put little check marks next to those things. The thing with the most check marks, have that somewhere you can look at on your screen, on your monitor, wherever, next time you're playing, and then just spend a day working on whatever had the most check marks on it. And see if that relaxes you at all while you're playing. Because then it kind of shifts from like just the performance to how you're working on this other thing. And that could help you. Another way to help you get over ladder anxiety is actually to just sign on to KGS or OGS, start chatting, and make a friend that's close to your level. You two can play, talk about each other's games. You've got someone who can help you get over your anxiety, someone who can help you, give you pointers in your games, and someone that you can do that for yourself. Because I have actually seen a lot of people actually kind of get help this way and begin playing more when they've got like this community there to sort of reinforce them. And good places to do that are, of course, on KGS, because it's a very social server. OGS, to some extent, not quite as many users, I don't think, active users as KGS, but still might make for a reasonable selection if you're going to actually try and do something like this. Now, if you can't, for some reason, if for some reason you're having trouble finding yourself a Go friend, or maybe you're not the rather social person, you have trouble making new friends, things like that, I don't know. Well, the KGS Teaching Ladder can also help you with this, and so can the Baduk subreddit. Both of these places are places where you can take your losses, and yes, I'm focusing on your losses here, not your wins. You can take your losses and you can ask for reviews. Don't be greedy about it. Don't try to get like every loss you've ever had reviewed. But one loss a day or so is probably not going to upset people, and gives people who are, lurking in the area something to look at and maybe learn from as well, so it kind of helps that. But the focus there is to do two things. One, kind of gives you an idea of what you need to look at if you're having trouble finding out yourself, so you can kind of mark that down and use the checkmark method that I mentioned earlier. It also kind of goes to reinforce the idea that your losses are okay. Because if we can learn something from our losses, like if we feel like we're learning something from the games we're losing, we're not really feeling as negative about those games. And that's like the really important part. That's really where it comes in handy to have like a friend who plays Go to help review your games, because you don't feel quite so negative about it when you're sharing that with a friend, or when someone can come along and help you turn this negative feeling of loss into something a bit more positive. Because really what you're doing, like it or not, is trying to get over this feeling that losing is a bad thing. Or this embarrassment that, oh my god, I've lost a game. Like that's really kind of what you're trying to overcome, and apparently something the players on TyGem and WBaduk really do not feel whatsoever to have like 50,000, 100,000 games played on their account. But Western players, a lot more mindful of that on average, I think. And gotta work on it if you want to improve. You definitely have to work on this if you want to improve. And some of these are methods that I do recommend. I'm a little bit of an extremist. When I was studying, what did I do? It's like, oh, someone recommended looking at professional games. Great, I'm going to memorize one every day. Fast forward, I'm feeling bad about losing. I need to not feel bad about losing. I'm going to go on a server and I'm going to lose 20 games in a row intentionally. So I can see myself losing and not feel bad about it. Get over like that many losses. It's like, you lost that many games, you're still alive. Congratulations. Now try again. I mean, that was my method. I don't recommend it, because people kind of get upset when you sandbag. And I'm not trying to promote sandbagging here. I'm just trying to give ideas that maybe you can use to get over this feeling of being afraid of losing and this nervousness of getting on and actually playing a game of Go. So to recap, if any of this sounds like something that is affecting you, recommend going over your past games, your past losses, write down the reasons for their loss, tally up which of the reasons are the highest reoccurring, put those somewhere you can see them. And next game, I want you to be focused on that list. I want you to focus on the top 1 or 2 things in that game. And we're going to make a small adjustment to your play. Just a tiny adjustment. We're going to focus on that. It's almost like we're not even playing Go. It's kind of going to be like we're doing a Go problem, and that's the focus of the Go problem. Like, this game, don't make too many weak groups, or give shape to our weak groups. And that's what we're going to focus on. Or, this game, I followed my opponent around the board way too much. So I'm going to put that in front of me, and I'm going to concentrate on that. I can see it. That's what I'm going to do. You know, whatever that thing is, have it there. Second thing you should try to do is just meet someone that plays Go. That's kind of around your level. Could be a little bit higher, could be a little bit lower. You can do this on OGS or KGS. And just see if you can review each other's games. So you can help each other figure out where you're going wrong. So someone else is clearly looking at your losses, you're clearly looking at someone else's losses, and the world's not exploding. They can encourage you in your games, you can encourage them in their games, and it should help you play more games. Option 3, if all else fails, if you really need just like a sledgehammer to the face to learn this once and for all, losing is not a problem. You could just destroy the rank of wherever you are. Don't really recommend it, except for extreme circumstances. But if you need to watch yourself lose 20 games in a row to get over the fact that yes, you are going to lose and it's fine, maybe do that. Maybe do that. I'm going to get negative comments already that I've even considered recommending that idea. But okay. If none of these 3 things, or if all of these 3 things help you out, do put messages in the chat down below. If you have your own suggestions, feel free to put those down in the chat below as well. I hope, of course, that you are all having a wonderful holiday season. Thank you again to all my subscribers, and of course to all my patrons who have been supporting this series and all of my series of wonderful things that I've been doing here on YouTube as well as on Twitch. I'm not going to go into it just yet, but you can expect another video around New Year's or just shortly after, highlighting some fascinating things that we're going to be doing next year. I'm already hard at work planning the great things that I can bring you next year. Because for me, one thing that remains true, every new subscriber, every new patron, every new dollar that goes to supporting what I'm doing is encouragement and motivation for me to just find ways to bring you better and better content. And wouldn't you know it, I already have some pretty amazing ideas lined up for next year. But I'll be going into those in a couple of more weeks. Until then, I of course hope you all have had a wonderful month. Hope you've been enjoying the series, and I will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Good luck with your Go.